bites harder. Suspected Nigerian drug peddler arrested in India. And more here still on the Punch newspaper front page. U.S. shifting from aid to trade in Nigeria. Orders, that's according to the ambassador to Nigeria. National Assembly won't stop making laws to support Tinubu. Barau is coming up with that. Salah Ogun Rep donates 40 million naira to constituents. Anambra governorship poll campaign begins June 11th. That's coming from INEC. Ondo Tribunal upholds Aiyedatiwa's election. Lagos local government poll. APC unveils 40-man campaign cancel. All of that are some of the headlines you'll find here on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. We quickly look at The Nation as well. On The Nation newspaper front page, Eid, President seeks prayers for troops battling terrorists. Tinubu defends legacy road projects. Infrastructure is backbone of development. And still here on the front page of The Nation newspaper this morning, Oyo reaffirms commitment. All right, we'll get back to that. Still here on the front page of The Nation this morning, Oyo reaffirms commitment to resilient cities. Ondo NOA trains officials on integrity assets declaration. Lagos Sogon to reduce maternal vets. Rental business owners chart way forward. And more here on the entertainment side of The Nation. How was secured a global deal for Davido? And that's a bit of entertainment and lifestyle. Politics here. Southwest should produce all presidential candidates, says Lamido. How I will govern Anambra by ADC candidate. About 5 stakeholders declare support for Tinubu, Akpabio, Eno, Aiyedatiwa on course. And still here on The Nation newspaper front page, lawmaker to be Toban Seriki Adini of Yewaland. And UEFA Nations League semi-final, things to know as Spain takes on France. Still here on The Nation newspaper, and this is a bit of business, blending Swiss innovation with Nigeria's vibrancy, creativity. All of those are some of the headlines here out of The Nation this morning. A look at the Vanguard as well. We do have other headlines here on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Up for us this morning is the Break It Down Papers review here on your Laughter Dive 32 FM 94.9. And here we are on the front page of the Vanguard. INT'L Kabir, high cost of transportation foods dampen celebrations. Tribe, religion driving current government. That's according to Amaechi. And still talking about Salah, Tinubu governors congratulate, send messages of hope. And a report of kidnap of 200 persons on Abuja Kaduna Road fake. That's according to police. Businesses express confidence in macroeconomy, anticipate hiring. More here. Tinubu, Atiku governors orders mourn ex-OPEC president Professor Jubil Aminu. Nigeria allocates 1% of pension assets to infrastructure development. That's according to AFC. Economic activities expand 6 consecutive months. That's the Central Bank of Nigeria. 2 die of suspected diphtheria in Edo. In competition, commission to track counterfeit goods digitally. Still here on the Vanguard, troops foil terrorist attacks on 2 communities in Borno. Kill scores. INT'L Kabir. And still talking high cost of transportation. Insecurity, we must control illicit harms to defeat terrorism, coming from the NSA rebuttal. More politics here. PDP begs Peter Obi orders to return to party. There is nothing wrong if Fubara joins APC. Your president is talking here. PDP to APC 2027 will be a referendum on your failures. Adeleke didn't visit Tinubu for defection. Governor's aide clarifies. I don't want to join issues with children. Amaechi hits back at Wike. All of that are some of the headlines here out of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. All right, still looking at more headlines here out of the national dailies here in Nigeria. On the Guardian this morning, we also have some headlines here on the Guardian newspaper. Dangote names refinery road after Tinubu says petrol now 45% cheaper. I will touch you if you don't pay tax. BK tells Abuja wealthy. Canada to expand citizenship by descent beyond first generation. U.S. to unlock access to $120 trillion capital market opportunities for Nigerian firms. Sanwo-Olu announces the arrival of new coaches for Blue Line Rail. Nigeria secures strategic bilateral agreement at Entrepreneurship Congress. And Airpeace ambassadors pay condolence to Chukwu's family. Still here on The Guardian this morning, Anambra moves to confiscate premises harboring child beggars. Africa to deepen digital trade integration under AFCFTA. Anambra moves against illegal internet service providers. Police deploy personnel to ensure security during Eid al-Kabir in Lagos. Salah, Fayemi, Akume greet Muslims, emphasize unity, compassion. Lagos court sentences man to 14 years for attempted sexual assault. Gombe banker recounts narrow escape from organ harvesters. And still here on The Guardian, federal government relaunches NATEP to unlock $1 trillion global outsourcing market opportunities. All of that is some of the headline out of The Guardian here. We take a look at the Daily Post as well. Here on the Daily Post, there also Salah News. Full test of Tinubu's Eid al-Kabir message to Nigerians. And that's the major headline here on the Daily Post News Engine. 2027, PDP begs PDP, begs Peter Obi to return to party. That's 2027. PDP begs Peter Obi to return to party. Eid al-Adha, Naira appreciates massively against dollar, against across official that black market. Eid al-Adha, Naira appreciates massively against dollar across official black markets. All right, it's very about time to go on our first break this morning. When we do come back on the Break It On Papers review, we'll be having more. Do stay with us.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't recognize them. Hello, do I know you?
It's us, mommy.
But these dirty, sweaty uniforms and socks, we're clean in the morning. Everything don't transform. I understand though. School is hectic. It takes energy to come home this transformed. So I make sure they have some nutritious Milo at breakfast.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo.
I have a little cough, sir, in my little chest, sir. Anytime I cough, sir, it makes a heavy sound,
I
sir.
see. You have a cough. I know just what you need. I'll give you Uniplex. It will clear your chest fast. Fast, fast, fast. Clear your chest fast.
Uniplex. Uniplex.
Uniplex cough syrup gives you relief from sore throat, cold and chesty coughs. Manufactured by Daily Needs Industries Limited. Uniplex cough syrup is for children and adults.
Uniplex. Uniplex.
If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult a doctor.
Is that Alfie playing football in the rain?
It's Toby Chio.
My goodness. When did he grow up?
That's it with kids, so.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
Kò bá jẹ́ 24, 29 tàbí 32 ṣáà ti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ kàn tẹ 32 FM 949 tẹ̀lé fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀.
Golden penny faster, what's your reason? What's your reason, oh? Everybody gather round. Come and hear the news in town. From the kitchen to my heart, every single body's a thrill. With every bowl I share, I find more reasons.
There are more reasons to love Golden Penny pasta, enriched with protein and fiber for you and your loved ones. Golden Penny pasta, great taste, good nutrition.
àfi ká wá nǹkan ṣe sọ́dọ̀ àwọn nǹkan tó ń gbówó lórí yìí o. lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ a máa dín owó tá à ń san fáwọn ìkànnì mọ̀ọ́máwòrán kù. 3 crowns milk láti.
rárá o ẹ má dé bẹ́ẹ̀ rárá o.
torí kíni.
iṣẹ́ ńlá ni màmá ń ṣe àti pé 3 crowns milk máa ń ṣara àwọn màmá lóore kí wọ́n lè máa ṣàtìlẹ́yìn fẹ́ bí wa.
ìṣúra aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ làwọn màmá torí náà jẹ́ kí màmá mọ rírì ìṣúra tí wọ́n jẹ́ pẹ̀lú 3 crowns milk.
3 crowns milk ìlera àwọn màmá ayọ̀ ẹbí.
One day now, one day. Walk no go rest day. Say you still fit go on holiday. Make you no day complain. Retire in grand style. Make it worth your while. Choose a partner that won't stress you out. Let's shape your future. Access ARM is working for you. Access ARM is investing for you. To live a life that you dream for you. We no go for your head.
Let's help you shape the future you deserve. Access ARM Pensions. Future shaping.
Kí ló ń sún ọpọ́n ìrẹsì jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù lọ sípele ìgbádùn tó ga? Ṣé tí wọ́n bá sè é pẹ̀lú kóró náà fún adùn tó kà màmá yẹn ni? Tàbí tẹ́ ẹ bá jẹ́ pẹ̀lú ojúlówó sàláàdì Nàìjíríà, èso kábéèjì, kárọ̀tì, lẹ́tùsì, àtẹ̀wà oníkíndìnrín díẹ̀.
Ó ní láti jẹ́ méjèèjì. Ṣé jollof rice rẹ pẹ̀lú adùn kóró náà kí o wá jẹ́ pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀fọ́. Ó yá jẹ́ kí ọ̀pọ̀ oúnjẹ rẹ gbé pẹ́ẹ́lí. Lónìí, jẹun tó dáa.
This taste na banger, this taste na creamy rich, this taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1. Thickness, enjoyment, yumminess, happiness, delightfulness, deliciousness, smoothness. This taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1.
Enjoy more creamy richness with the new Nescafe Original 3-in-1 in the new pack. That's strong, finish strong.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still on to Break It On Papers Review here on your Laughter Dial 32 FM 94.9, and of course to our Muslim brothers and sisters, Happy Salah. And we do have Mr. Austin Edimo to do the analysis proper for us this morning. Austin, it's great to have you back. Happy Salah.
Good morning, GBOLABO, and thank you for having me. And good morning to our brothers and sisters. We wish them a happy celebration. Barika de Salah. Right. Austin, still talking Salah here, and looking at Tinubu's message on this very time when we have our Muslim brothers and sisters celebrating the Eid al-Kabir. Now, Tinubu is promising economic rebound, urges prayers for soldiers. Now, he's also saying that his economic outlook in terms of his model and policies are already yielding results. We might not see it physically yet. But then do we see that it's some words of succor that Nigerians can rely on at this time? Looking at some of the economic policies internationally that has affected Nigeria's remittances, especially non-citizens in the U.S., for instance, Nigeria appears to be one country that has the highest revenue coming from countries like the U.S., for instance, and other part of the world. But what Trump is coming up with, the bill is already in the House of Representatives, and if passed, Nigeria will be one of the worst hit in terms of remittances coming from abroad. Now, should we have the government dissecting this rather than promises that we've seen over the years itself? Well, I think one of the business of those in government is to rekindle hope, tell people how better things can become vis-a-vis effort that is being made to ensure that we get to where we are going. Having said that, I think the government really need to do more to ensure that they walk the talk. There's no amount of effort that Nigerians will appreciate until and unless it translates to a better life in terms of purchasing power, in terms of the value per capita income that people are able to get from within the economy. So, of course, reform is going on here and there. There's nowhere in the world reform brings pain, but the pain that reform is bringing in Nigeria is becoming too hard for the people to bear. So the government must look for a possible way of quick fixes, because if we are doing reform, you have a long-term reform, medium time, and the short term. So the government must quickly align the economic policy in such a way that it will benefit the people. Yeah, the news that you just mentioned, the U.S. tax reform bill, is a major blow on Nigerian finances, because for 2024, for example, Nigeria got close to $21 billion in terms of diaspora remittances. That was the highest in 5 years before then. So this bill means that at the end of the day, Nigerians will lose money, because most Nigerians who live in the U.S., majority of them are either temporary residents or those who do not have papers at all. So the implication of exempting only citizens is going to be a very major blow on our economy. But let's see how government will look at other alternative economic sources to be able to mitigate that effect. There is nothing that is as good as developing indigenous and homegrown economic solutions to address our specific and our peculiar economic challenges. So I believe that it's also like a wake-up call for the government to look inward. Families too will also lose money, because if your loved one in the U.S. want to send money to you, and that is coming with enormous charges, that can also reduce the number of money that is being sent, and can even discourage or lead to outright not sending money at all. So it's going to be a very painful thing. Nigeria will lose money, the government will lose money, and businesses will also be affected.
All right, Austin, 2027, PDP begs Peter Obi to return to party. Now, would we say that the PDP is acting very fast, because campaign started in a subtle way, and already we are seeing the permutations, calculations, endorsement already going on. Now, the PDP is saying, hey, come back. Those of you who are aggrieved, get back to the party. And the likes of Peter Obi, in a way, they want to have him back in the party itself. Do you think the PDP is ready for opposition in Nigeria as it stands?
Well, let's hope so. But the challenge is that everyone in Nigeria believes that, it is the ruling party that is causing crisis. PDP is not really good at opposition at all. And that also has largely contributed to where we are now. Having said that, if you look at the result of the 2023 presidential election, you discover that the president won the election by what you can refer to as a narrow escape. You discover that if you put the people that fell out from the PDP, like Peter Obi, for example, Kwankwaso, if you put their vote together with Atiku, it will have been landslide victory from the opposition. But is PDP ready? What are those factors that drove Peter Obi out of the PDP? Have they been able to fix between the time Peter Obi left PDP and now, which is even better in terms of the party? When Peter Obi left PDP was having national chairman, national secretary. But today, from one controversy to the other. So personally, I do not see Peter Obi coming. And it's also like an indictment on the part of PDP, just like admitting failure, that without these individuals, you can't be able to win an election. They need to build a party. Some people really need to stay in the party and build the party. So whether Peter Obi is coming back, I do not know. But they really need to build the party. That's the truth of the matter. Because we will say, it is the ruling party. The ruling party is causing problem in SDP. Ruling party is causing problem in Labour Party. Ruling party is causing problem in PDP. It means that this element within this other party, they don't really know what they are doing. Because if you know what they are doing, you must be able to put your house together, come up with formidable opposition to give the government a run for their money. But it looks as if these guys are not serious. Ambition, personal interest, political interest, power grabbing is tearing those political parties apart. You can see people coming together now. They want to take power. That was the narrative they sold to us in 2013, 2014. This set of people, because they are temporarily out of power now, they want to grab power at all costs. So let's see how it goes. Peter Obi should be able to decide for himself whether to return to the PDP, to join the coalition, or to remain in the Labour Party, if there will be Labour Party in 2027 anyway.
All right, I will touch rich tax defaulters. Heaven won't fall. That's according to Wike. And somewhere along the line, we also have Oni already saying that varsities should study how Wike joined Tinubu's cabinet. Do we have a mosaic kind of structure here, especially looking at the Wike stance in this government? And if he talks about defaulters here, are we looking at the rich and the mighty? Can Wike touch them? Because do we think, Austin, do you think that it's the ordinary Nigerians that are tax defaulters here? What is Wike saying, and what Oni of Ife is coming up with itself?
Wike is very clear. He's going after defaulter. He's seen already. Those who have decided to think that by not paying land use charge, they can go to TV station to weaponize that or to play politics and whip up unnecessary sentiment. You see people for over 10 years, close to 20 years in some cases, refuse to pay their grand rent. And you begin to say, oh, Nigerians are not happy with Wike, is waging war against some people. The question is that in Asokoro, in central business districts, in Maitama, are poor people living in those areas? They are the rich people. There is this mentality that nothing will happen. This is Nigeria. Whatever we do, we'll get away with it. So the question is that before we play politics with anything, if you agree that you are owing, go and pay your grand rent. We have seen instances where landlord refuse to do the needful and the house will be sealed. For those that are tenants, it may not be their fault. But since they are paying their rent, their landlord should be able to do the needful, pay whatever that is due to the government. For New of Ife, Wike was in Ife, OAU, for a distinguished lecture. I'm sure it was at that occasion that the Oni of Ife, maybe looking at the doggedness, political doggedness of Wike. I don't know what that means. You may not like Wike, but at least in terms of politics, I think he knows how to play the game. That's the truth of the matter. Whether it will last, whether it's a good person, let's leave that for the gods. Those that are owing grand rent in Abuja should go and pay. That's the truth. Those who are owing should go and pay. It is this idea of, in advanced country, for example, the rich are heavily taxed because the more you work, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. But in Nigeria, we extort the poor to service the opulence lifestyle of the rich. I think the narrative needs to change, not just by Wike trying to enforce the tax law against defaulter. We must also come up with piece of legislative intervention that will make people to pay more if they earn more, because those money will be used to cater and provide essential services, especially for the poor and the most vulnerable amongst us.
All right, Austin, insecurity, we must control illicit arms to defeat terrorism. That's coming from Rebado. Now, in terms of proliferation of some of these small arms and weaponry that has found its way into Nigeria itself, now, looking at the boundaries itself, do you think we have the security apparatus on ground to check the excesses, especially at the borders, and what is happening in the Sahel, for instance?
Yes, I do not think we have the capacity, but it's something that is doable. There was a time there was the mop-up of arms, especially war against small and light weapons. Imagine when the border was shut down, for example, food stuff could not come in, but weapons, arms and ammunition were coming into the country. I am not the one saying this. The president at that time came on the national television and admitted, as a way of indictment against the government at that time, that arms and ammunition were still coming into the country. Of course, the porosity of our border is a different case. Our border is not just expanse, but it is porous. There are some places in the northern part of the country. If you are going to Niger or Cameroon, it's just like crossing from one side of the cocoa house to the other side. If you are crossing road to the other side, it's as bad as that. And we are fully under police. undersecured. So what the government can do is to develop political will. Some of these, where do they get them from? Look at the sophistication in terms of weapon of non-state actors, terrorists, bandits. Look at the type of weapon that they use. So Ribado is in the office today. He must use his office to tame illicit weapons in the country. Anytime our soldiers, our uniform men are killed, their weapons are carted away. We must do a kind of audit of our arms in the country to be able to ascertain those that are no longer with us, who are with the enemy. We must be audacious enough in terms of displaying enormous political will to deal with these people. And how do we do that? All of us must come together. During the time of Jonathan, we said they couldn't do it. The problem persisted under Buhari. Now we have a new government about 2 years into the administration. Look at surge in terrorism, banditry, and what have you, all across the country. So we must come together to defeat this menace. Because most of the time we play politics with it, we whip up emotional sentiment, religious and ethnic sentiment, and it has not really helped the matter.
All right, we have to go on another break. Radhavan, I'll be back shortly afterwards. Please do stay with us.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development and the care they need with the new NAN-KID 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics to help your child's digestion and development, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. And all of these work together to support your child's development and growth today and tomorrow. NAN-KID 4. Nourish your child's potential.
One day now, one day. Walk no go rest deep. Say you still fit go on holiday. Make you know they complain. Retire in grand style. Make it worth your while. Choose a partner that won't stress you out. Let's shape your future. Access ARM is working for you. Access ARM is investing for you. To live a life that you dream for you. We don't go for your head.
Let's help you shape the future you deserve. Access ARM Pensions. Future shaping.
Kò bá jẹ́ 24, 29 tàbí 32 ṣáà ti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ kàn tẹ 32 FM 949 tẹ̀lé fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀.
This taste na banger, this taste na creamy rich, this taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1. Thickness, enjoyment, yumminess, happiness, delightfulness, deliciousness, smoothness. This taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1.
Enjoy more creamy richness with the new Nescafe Original 3-in-1 in the new pack. That's strong, finish strong.
Golden penny pasta, what's your reason? What's your reason? Oh, everybody gather round. Come and hear the news in town. From the kitchen to my heart, every single body's a thrill. With every bowl I share, I find more reasons.
There are more reasons to love Golden Penny Pasta, enriched with protein and fiber for you and your loved ones. Golden Penny Pasta, great taste, good nutrition.
àfi ká wá nǹkan ṣe sọ́rọ̀ àwọn nǹkan tó ń gbówó lórí yìí o. lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ a máa dín owó tá à ń san fáwọn ìkànnì mọ́ọ̀máwòrán kù. 3 crowns milk láti.
rárá o ẹ má dé bẹ́ẹ̀ rárá o.
torí kíni.
iṣẹ́ ńlá ni màmá ń ṣe àti pé 3 crowns milk máa ń ṣara àwọn màmá lóore kí wọ́n lè máa ṣàtìlẹ́yìn fẹ́ bí wa.
ìṣúra láìlẹ́gbẹ́ làwọn màmá torí náà jẹ́ kí màmá mọ rírì ìṣúra tí wọ́n jẹ́ pẹ̀lú 3 crowns milk.
3 crowns milk ìlera àwọn màmá ayọ̀ ẹbí.
Bro, I'm really tired of being in the friend zone.
Why? It's lovely.
You can't be serious.
100%.
Take Shade, for example. She's strictly a friend. She mentioned my name at Betano, and I got 1,000 Naira free bet.
Friend zone it is then. Now everyone wants to be in the friend zone. Refer a friend at Betano, and both of you will receive a 1,000 Naira free bet. Betano. The game starts now. Bet responsibly. Available only to those over the age of 18.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. Still on to Break It On Papers Review here on your Laughter Dial 32 FM 94.9. And of course, we still have Austin Adumo standing by doing the analysis proper with us this morning virtually. Well, it's right about time to open the phone lines and also take your comments on our socials in case you want to drop your comment on Facebook, 32 FM 949 on Facebook with double E's. All right, the numbers are 070-55000-949 or 0097,949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, GBOLABO.
Good morning, sir.
Say good morning to Augustine too. My name is Adeshri from UI. I don't see a reason for Peter Obi to join PDP. In fact, as a matter of fact, I'm saying it as a setup to just cripple him politically. Because PDP doesn't have a national secretary, and it's very, very dangerous. And I see as a strategy that whoever emerge at the end of the day as a PDP candidate may end up being dismissed as having no party. All of them across the country by the time the issue when they get to court. So it's a set of PDP. It's not a reliable party for now. Let him wait and see what the position will do. If they are ready to face him as their candidate, fine. If they are not ready to face him, let him start alone and recontest again. Let Atiku too go and recontest again. Let Tinubu recontest again. And let's try the result again. I know that the momentum Tinubu had in 2023 will not repeat itself again now. I know 10 of my friends that voted for him. Only one is still saying they will still vote for him again now. 9 is out. So that is it. On Wiki, I don't see any reason to celebrate Wiki. Because when you see the way he talks, he doesn't talk like as a mature person. So whatever he's doing is something that's been diminished by his own character. Look at the way Amishi was talking. Amishi said, I don't want to talk to children. And you see, Amishi was just mentioning, he said he built 6 flyovers. And I went to confirm it. If he was okay, he was making noise. So that is it. Let's have the best of today.
All right, thank you so much for that. The numbers again are 070-55000-949 or 080-979,949. Do remember we are also live on Facebook in case you want to drop your comment. That's 32 FM 949 Fanya with double A's on Facebook itself. All right, we still have Austin Adumo. All right, Austin, let's quickly look at the Naira. It appears that the Naira is acting well. And there is this headline: Naira records highest gain against dollar, highest here at official forex markets, especially looking at the celebrations here. Austin, what do you think we are doing differently as a country with the Naira appreciating massively here?
Well, it's still a marginal appreciation if you look at it. It's not like a massive appreciation like the headline is suggesting. If you ask me, for example, I don't believe that the exchange rate currently is the actual value of our currency. I do not believe so. It's relatively stable for a period under review, but I think it can still come down. The only way by which it can really come down is through aggressive production that will catalyze into export. But if that is not taken care of, I think the government can also look at the monetary side of it, using monetary policy to bring it down. I believe that the only way the exchange rate can continue to make meaningful impact, it is when it is priced below 1,000. Above 1,000, 1,400, 1,500 plus is still very high. Although it is relatively stable, we all know the reason why. But the government can do more by bringing the rate down. No government across the world leave their currency to just float. The flotation addresses a lot of issues because you see some idle people who simply make money and profiteer by simply speculating the naira, selling naira in Nigeria, using naira to buy dollar in Nigeria. It does not really make sense. Nigeria is about the only country where that is prevalent. There are some countries, even in South Africa, you can't use dollar. You must convert to their currency. But we hawk dollar on the street of Nigeria. In short, it got to a time in Nigeria, it was almost looking like dollar was our national currency. It is bad enough because it has a way of affecting our economy. We can do 700, for example. We can do 600, for example. Who say we can't even do 500? So the government should work on bringing it down, not a marginal decline. For me, there's nothing to celebrate. It can further come down. But the truth is that it's stable for some time now.
All right, looking at the electioneering period as we are preparing to hit another time in the history of Nigeria's election itself, these headlines as "You may end in prison," NRM warns INEC boss Yakubu over failure to obey court order. Now, this is one of the dramas that has somehow awaiting what appears to be our electoral umpire in the country itself in terms of the activities, registration, and obeying court order. Now, with what the NRM is saying, Austin, do you think this is a bit too much dramatic with Edozie Njoku, who says he is supposed to be recognized as the substituting ruling of the Federal High Court has recognized him as the national chairman of the party?
You know, when there are conflicting court order, INEC will also have a challenge to take their time to obey such court order, except and until the final court gives judgment. You know, there was a time in the Anambra candidacy, PDP candidacy, they submitted the correspondent to INEC. INEC did not respond until another correspondent went with Anyanwu's signature before INEC acknowledges that particular correspondent. Most of us will blame INEC after bastardizing the system. It is not always the problem of INEC. The former governor of Rivers, Rotimi Amechi, said, "Oh, this INEC chairman is the worst in the history of Nigeria." That is not true. It is on record that this same Amechi, as a minister, took soldiers to Port Harcourt. We monitored that election. He took soldiers to Port Harcourt. Soldiers under instruction were scaling fence into State Collation Center. I hope some people can still remember that story. So a lazy man blames his tools. Let us not always blame INEC. As far as assessment, objective assessment is concerned, this INEC chairman has done enough in terms of, have done more in terms of bringing innovation to our electoral process. Let him leave and we'll see whatever that is left. He personally approached the National Assembly for legislative intervention for credibility of our election. So most of the time, if politicians fail to win election, they blame INEC, they blame the chairman of INEC. So what do you expect INEC to do? When there are conflicting court judgments, it is only the CJN now that has summoned the courage to work on that. We have seen court of coordinate jurisdiction from different sections of the country giving the same conflicting judgment on the same matter. So in my view, INEC alone cannot sanitize the electoral system. Politician has a lot to do. Somebody that took soldiers to Collation Center in 2019 just to win an election at all costs is now coming out to say that the INEC chairman is evil. So these are areas, these are the things. If the result favors us, we celebrate the same INEC. If the result is not favoring us, we castigate the same INEC. So that's the truth. INEC chairman is almost winding down his tenure. Another person will be appointed. Let's see how it goes.
All right, the numbers are 070-55,949 or 080-97,949 plus 234-90-62,949. And we're also live on Facebook in case you also want to drop your comment there. That's 32FM 949 for here with double ears. Austin, before we call it a day, I want us to also look at this one coming from Kano, INT'L Doba. That's Ed Doba. Emir Sanusi bent to police warning, cancel celebration. Now, this is supposed to be like a ritual for Eid Kabir to have those Doba activities itself. But because of what the police is saying, we have the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, cancelling that particular activity. Have we gotten to that extent where the instances of insecurity are so grown that activities that has kept us together, we can no longer participate, Austin, as we leave the studios?
If you understand the story very well, it's not just the general insecurity that made police to advise against that. The last celebration, there was fracas when Sanusi defied the police. The police later invited him in a very disrespectful manner to Abuja. I hope you remember that story. Right. There is confusion in Kano. There are two de facto emir. Let us wait for the Supreme Court to take final decision on that matter. If Sanusi decides to hold the Durban and the other emir decides to hold the Durban, two of them ask court followership among the people. So there will always be fracas and people will die innocently. Police warned against that last time. Sanusi defied that. It causes a lot of tension. Now the police are advised against it again. Thank God that Sanusi is coming out to obey that particular restriction. It's not going to take forever. Let the case be resolved, and whoever is the authentic emir, let the person continue with the celebration.
All right, Austin.
Just for the sake of peace in the states.
All right, we must say a big thank you to Austin Adumo for doing this with us, and to all those who dropped their salam messages on our Facebook platform. We also say a big thank you, and those just calling in, we say a big thank you too. That's the much we can take on the Break It On People's Review. And of course, the Smart Kids Show is up next. My name is GBOLABO. Famous call. Bye for now.